Hello people, welcome to my YouTube channel Free Management Education. Today we will discuss about portfolio theory. This will just be an introduction to portfolio theory. In later videos we will discuss about the advanced models like CAP, AM and APT. Let's start. The topics covered here are the basic definitions, portfolio rate of return, portfolio risk, covariance in portfolio theory and correlation in portfolio theory. So what is a portfolio? A portfolio consists of various types of assets. Okay. In other words, a portfolio is a bundle or combination of individual assets or securities. Investors construct these portfolios to offset the effect of the return of one asset on another. This means that if I have two assets or securities and I am getting higher returns from one and the lower returns from another, then these portfolios are constructed so that the effect of one balances the effect of another. Okay, that's why it says the investors construct these portfolios to offset the effect of the return of one asset on another. For example, an insurance policy against car theft protects the loss in the value of the asset, that is the car. That is, they are balancing each other. Okay, the car and theft insurance policy form a portfolio whose returns and risk complement each other to provide a stabilizing effect, that is the balances out. So what is expected rate of return? So it is equal to the weighted average of the returns of the individual assets or securities in the portfolio, with weights being equal to the proportion of investment value in each asset. So let me explain this with an example. Suppose there are three firms and there are three different scenarios like good marketing, average marketing and poor marketing. The returns for good marketing is 25%, for average marketing 50% and poor marketing 25%. So the returns for shared one is 20, for average marketing 18 and poor marketing 15. You can see the numeric values, so no need to repeat them. So the expected rate of return for shared one, it is for good marketing. You can see for shared one, for good marketing the returns will be 25% and here it is 20. So 20 into 25% or 20 into 0.25 plus 18 into 0.5 because it is average marketing and it is in shared one and we are calculating for shared one, and here it is 15 into 0.25. So three different scenarios, good, average and poor marketing. So if we add them, we get the value 17.75%. Same thing for share 2, 30 into 25, 24 into 50, 24 into 50%, 20 into 25%. So that is 24.50%. Same thing for share 3, 10.75%. Now the expected rate of return. What we read in the definition, it is the weighted average of the returns of the individual assets. So these are the returns for individual assets. Okay, 17.75%, 24.5% and 10.75% are the returns on individual assets. Okay, with weights being equal to the proportion of investment. So the proportion here is 1/3 because they are in the same ratio, like 1:1:1. Because there are three shares, therefore the ratio is 1:1:1. Okay, let me write this. Okay, so that's why it's 1/3. The weight of each share is 1/3. So we will multiply the value of individual shares with their weights. So 1/3 into 17.75 plus 1/3 into 24.5 plus 1/3 into 10.75. Okay, that is 17.67%. So this is the expected rate of return on the whole portfolio. Okay, I hope you get it. Now comes the portfolio risk. The risk of a portfolio is measured by the variance of its return. The variance of the portfolio is signified by sigma square. Okay, the variance of the portfolio is sigma square equal to summation sign. This is summation sign, summation pi. Pi is the probability of occurrence, and into rp, that is r and suffix p minus rp bar whole square. Here the pi is the probability of occurrence, rp is the return on portfolio with the expected value of rp bar. Suppose my portfolio gives me a return of rupees 300, but the expected return is 305. So this is a deviation of 5, and the formula is the variance of the portfolio is defined as sum of the squared deviations from the expected value multiplied by the probability of occurrence. Okay, I hope you get the formula here. So assume the previous example as before. So here we will calculate the returns first. The proportion is 1:1:1, which I said earlier. So 1/3 is 33.33%, and and if we add them, we get 99.9999, which is approximately 100%. Okay. Now for good marketing, we are multiplying the proportion with its return, like 1/3 into 20, 6.67. Here it is 20. Then 1/3 into 18. Then 1/3 into 15. Okay. Then we add them, like 6.67 plus 10 plus 8.33 gives 25. 6 plus 8 plus 4 gives 18, and 5 plus 6.7 minus 2 is 9.67. Okay, and the given probability, this is probability, is 25%. Here good marketing 25%, average marketing 50%, and poor marketing 25%. So these are the probabilities, and then we multiply 20 into 25 into 25%, 18 into 50%, 9.67 into 25%. We get these values, and if we add them, we get this as before. Add the expected returns to get 17.67% as before. So the returns in percentage for three different scenarios are 25, 18 and 9.67, and their expected return is 17.67. Okay, we got this earlier. So now comes the deviations. So deviation is the difference between the return from individual shares and their expected return. So return from share 1 is 25, and the expected return is 17.67, and their difference is 7.33. So these are all done here, just go through them. Then comes square of deviations. This is 7.33 whole square is 53.73. 0.33 whole square is 0.11, and minus 8 whole square is 64. Now the P is probability of occurrence into square of deviations are these values 13.43, 0.055 and 16. Now the variance is their summation. Okay, this part summation. So variance is 13.43 plus 0.055 plus 16 is 32.485. Now standard deviation is root over variance. You do this and get 5.7. Okay, I hope this clears. Now covariance in portfolio theory. Let's start with an example. If A and B denote the returns from two securities, like we saw earlier, share 1 and share 2. Here we denote it by A and B, and A dash and B dash denote the respective expected values of returns of these two securities. Okay, A and B denote the returns from two securities, and A dash and B dash denote the respective expected value of returns. Okay, the covariance of two is measured by product of deviations of the two securities from their respective means. Okay, so this is easy. Covariance of security 1 and security 2, whose returns are denoted as R1 and R2, is given by covariance R1 R2. Okay, remember this formula, summation of Pi into R1 minus R1 dash into R2 minus R2 dash. Okay, a positive covariance means that direction of change in the returns of two securities is same, which means that returns from security 1 and security 2 could be above or below their average returns at the same time. Okay, that is in the same direction, Now comes the negative covariance. Negative covariance implies that changes are in opposite direction. Obviously, if positive covariance means the returns from the two securities are in the same direction, then negative covariance will mean that the changes are in the opposite direction. This means returns from security 1, the return from security 1 could be above its average return, while return from security 2 could be below its average return, and vice versa. Zero covariance means return on security 1 and security 2 could show no pattern, that is, there is no relationship. So coefficient of correlation now. Covariance measures the relationship of two securities on absolute terms, while the strength of the relationship between two securities is measured in from an easier statistic called coefficient of correlation. So remember this, covariance measures the relationship between two securities on absolute terms. And what is the strength of relationship? This is given by coefficient of correlation. This is also written as rho. Okay, like rho. Okay. So formula for coefficient of correlation is given by covariance of R1 and R2 divided by sigma 1 and sigma 2. Sigma 1 and sigma 2 are the standard deviation of security 1 and security 2 respectively. Coefficient of correlation can have values ranging from -1 to +1. If the coefficient of correlation is negative, then the behavior of returns of the two securities are opposite. Like in covariance, there is negative covariance and positive covariance. So here, if there is negative correlation, the behavior of returns of the two securities are opposite, and if returns of one increases, then the returns of the other decreases. Positive correlation signifies same behavior of two securities. Okay, so if one increases, then other one also increases. And if there is no relation between the returns of two securities, then the coefficient of correlation is 0. Okay. So thanks for watching. This is a new channel, Free Management Education, where we provide free education on management for various entrances like MBA and UGC NET, especially UGC NET. I hope you like the videos. I will really appreciate a constructive criticism, and do comment if possible, like and subscribe if you wish to. My email ID is given in the description box, and if you want some videos on some specific topics, feel free to comment or contact me. Thank you. I have added a quote. Please read it and stay safe. Take care of your family. Thank you.